Hey bro, last piece already not enough food for the other beers, you know.
Once again, you cannot put food in front of a fat person, right? And tell them not to eat. So how it works. You know, you all skinny people don't understand.
Hi, my name is Jerry from Liang and welcome back to another episode of drinkbeer.com. So since our previous video has got more than 10 likes, fortunately, we are here again to talk about the Red IPA, Black IPA as well as the New England IPA. And we are very fortunate again to be able to invite Julius from Beerstyle Distribution to share with us more about these beers. Right, so Julius, tell us more about this Red IPA that we'll be drinking later. What exactly is a Red IPA?
So Red IPAs are somewhere in between an amber ale and an IPA. So whereas American IPAs tend to be very hop forward, most of them tend to be quite dry, at least the older school versions, right? So Red IPAs, I guess people started to play around with the malt base a bit, you know. So they added in a different kind of specialized malts, such that I guess most Red IPAs would taste a little bit like, you know, toffee, caramel, like dried stone fruits. I think the best way to figure out what one is to drink one.
Here we have the Red IPA, which is Evil Twin from Heretics. So I think, yeah, the only way we can find out what a Red IPA is to actually drink it. Alright, so as we can see from the color itself, right, as compared to the previous episode that we did, more of the West Coast style IPA, this is a lot darker.
On the darker end of amber already. Yeah.
Right, so let's give it a smell.
You actually get some like cold brew coffee.
Yeah. So on the nose, definitely you get very fruity aroma. How would you describe this beer?
Oh, so at first IPAs tend to be quite bitter.
Correct.
But on a first taste, right, it actually drinks very much like an amber ale. And then the hops start to kick in, you get a bit of fruitiness, maybe also from the caramelized malts. And then after that, you get hoppiness like an IPA.
Correct.
But it's not excessively bitter, and it's not it doesn't grow like more and more bitter.
Correct.
So actually like almost like an easier drinking IPA.
And it ends off with a bit of a light bitterness, like doesn't linger very long.
Yeah, I might actually like Red IPAs more than IPAs now.
Yeah. Say the previous episode that we tried, we did the fresh squeeze. I think a little bit similar in style, a bit malty, and also I would say, as what you mentioned, it's also kind of like a stupid beer. It's a very easy to drink afterward kind of a beer, yes. Right?
Yeah, this definitely fits. Yeah, you know what? Jerry's right. It actually is somewhere between like a pure and an IPA to me.
So if you are looking for an IPA and you don't want something that is too hop forward or something that is crazy bitter, then the Red IPA is actually quite a good choice. So now that we've tried the Red IPA, I think it's about time we go into the Black IPA. So the Black IPA, as what I think we come to know, is quite a bit of a newer style, right, in terms of craft beer. So once again, let's get the expert opinion on what exactly is the Black IPA.
Black IPA is something like somewhere between a stout and an IPA. When you look at it, it might appear so like, okay, this is IPA, but this is dark like a stout. By right, Black IPAs are supposed to use the bitter malts. So like, you know, people have been making IPAs for a while, and maybe, you know, some of them decided they wanted to explore the depth of flavor that could come from malt bases instead of just hops, right? Like an IPA, drinkable, not too bitter as well, not too hoppy. But at the same time, you get a bit of like, you know, when you have roasted malts or like roasted coffee, anything with that's burnt sugars, caramelized sugars. Yeah, so that's what Black IPAs are.
So it seems like a whole lot of mouthful and too many technical terms, right? I think the only way we can always understand a craft beer is to actually drink them.
So this is a Stone Self-Righteous Black IPA. It, I think was, if I'm not wrong, was produced once 8 years ago and then never again, and then it just came back. It's already sold out in Singapore, but managed to keep a bottle to taste. Black IPAs are quite hard to come by, few and far in between. So we had to keep this bottle just for this particular episode. And I seem to have to... Why are you eating it?
Sorry, I just cannot resist the temptations of sao rou and cha sao. I mean, when it comes to drinking beers, I think it's only best when you pair it with roasted pork, right?
Actually, yes. So I came prepared. I brought my own chopsticks.
Wow.
Never leave your home without them.
Yeah, so here we go. We will be tasting the black IPA together with sour. We do like a mini food pairing today. Alright? So looking at the color of this beer, right, it can be easily passed off as a stout or porter, right? Even it's a dark body, and the head is also quite thick. You'll see in terms of flavor how different it is from a stout or porter.
Trying to imagine, like if I don't know what color it is, what I would think it is. It's definitely like a stoner. IPA from Stone. Like just the intensity of the hops.
Yeah. So if you drink enough Stone IPAs or American Stout IPAs, you more or less understand what Julius is saying. The body tends to be a little bit heavier, so maltier. I also get a little bit of end bittering. Quite a bit of licorice inside. So I used to think that black IPAs were using roasted malts. I didn't know until recently that they use de-bittered roasted malts. So I'm trying to take away like what color it is. You know, trying to like divorce the idea that roasted malts that are used inside here. And yeah, you know what? If I really concentrate on it and like don't let my mind fool itself, it doesn't taste like roasted malts at all. It doesn't taste at all like a stout. In fact, it tastes more like a IPA, right?
Yeah. Or even like, you know, closer to the red IPA that we just tried. Like really quite far from stouts and porters.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's try the foolproof pairing of roasted pork.
Quite okay.
Yeah,
it works.
Doesn't clash at all. It kind of still feels like you know, I like this beer, I like this food, I'm having them both together. And it's not necessarily like it really goes, but there's no clash at all.
Correct.
Yeah.
It goes well lah. So if you are having like a after work kind of a drink, why not just pair it with roasted pork or some char siew? Won't go wrong, man. Although it adds a bit of calories lah, but who cares?
Don't count calories.
Count money instead.
The people that say don't count calories look like this. The people who count calories look like that.
I don't count calories also.
They don't lie.
Hey bro, last piece already Not enough food for the other beers, you know.
Once again, you cannot put food in front of a fat person, right? And tell them not to eat. That's how it works. You know, your skinny people don't understand.
Alright, now that we've completed the red IPA as well as the black IPA, we will move into the last style for tonight, which is the New England IPA. I think the New England IPA is a fairly new style, right? And it's kind of similar to an hazy IPA. So Julius, maybe you can share with us more about this particular style of New England IPA.
Well, so if you think West Coast American IPAs being very hop forward, very hoppy, bitter style. Then you have the East Coast IPAs which tend to be very fruit forward. So like even some West Coast IPAs, some American IPAs like last episode we had the Shoot Fresh Squeeze which leans a bit more east, juicy. I think that you can consider that kind of IPA, that generation, to be like a precursor to New England's. So now we have this white style that's relatively quite new called the Hazy or New England IPA. It's quite wide varying, so you get everything from unfiltered West Coast style IPAs. Some of them really taste like West Coast style, except they are unfiltered. Most of them, the New England IPAs, would be focused on bringing up the fruitiness, maybe some floral notes inside, and they still are hoppy in the sense that there's a lot of hops inside, but not the bitterness part of the hops.
So we are here today to try two different beers from Heretic. The first one will be?
We're gonna have Juicier than Thou, which is this one, which is a New England IPA with mangoes.
So if you're looking forward to something fruity to perhaps pair with your food, the Juicier than Thou will be quite a good choice because it's brewed with real mangoes. So right off the bat, you can see from the color, right? Rather from the body, it's very hazy. And on the nose, well, you get a hit with the mango right away. Very strong, pungent, and very aromatic. If you don't like beers because they are bitter, right? I think this is one of the better beers to start with. Yeah, I mean, for me personally, my first craft beer I had was actually quite bitter. It put me off craft beer for about maybe a good 5 years. Wow,
I just thought that craft beer means
Bitter lor.
flavor lah, but bitter.
Yeah.
So I just stopped drinking craft beers for a while. That was the first one I got. So if you want to recommend beers to people, especially craft beer, you need to ask them first. One of the qualifying questions is whether they like bitterness or not.
Correct.
Yeah, so if the moment they say no, I don't like bitterness, right, don't give them an IPA. Like giving a person who doesn't like bitterness an IPA, right, it's like a sure way to make sure someone never drinks a craft beer again.
I usually will ask the customers, what beers do you usually prefer? Is it together with food, or is it after food, or any particular styles that you are after? And yeah, as much as possible, I'll try to recommend something to the new craft beer drinkers, something that's not so bitter. And usually the one to go for is the Juicier than Dao. And now we will see how it pairs together with the roasted pork.
Finally food. Yeah, this one goes with food.
In fact, anything that goes with sorrow, I would think it's more or less a won't go wrong kind of a beer.
Yeah, I don't think anything will clash. Yeah, you know what? Comment if you think that there is a beer that would clash with a roasted pork.
Yeah, please comment. So we just finished the Juicier than Dao, which is a New England IPA brewed together with mango. Sometimes I do get customers that ask me, I do not want to have fruits in my beer. I don't want it to be so fruity, right? And the next option that I usually will recommend them would be the You Can't Handle the Juice. It's also by Heretic. It's also a New England style kind of an IPA. So Julius, maybe you can share with us what is You Can't Handle the Juice.
If you have tried Juicier than Dao, it's a New England IPA with mangoes. If you take away the mango, so you get a New England IPA and you make a double version of it. So this one sits at 8.5%. So you're going to get a bigger, more robust beer. You're going to get a bit of perceived sweetness from the alcohol. Yeah, I think the only way to find out is to try it.
Yeah. This is definitely much more flavorful, even without the mangoes. You can definitely taste the higher alcohol percentage.
Like Jerry said, definitely more boozy. Feels like a bigger, more grown-up drink. Yeah, this is gonna get me somewhere.
So this is definitely much stronger. It would sit somewhere around a double IPA. So you get very strong hop aromas, but you still get the flavors of the New England IPA. As you can see, it's still very hazy.
And now to see if roast pork pairs with everything.
The roast pork test.
The roast pork test. If it doesn't pair, it's not a beer.
I think this beer will be a very good good night beer. Something that to end off the night with.
Yeah, not to start with.
And which is also why this is the last beer that we will be tasting for tonight. So something after all that we have tried, the red IPA, black IPA, even our own beers that we are having. I'm having a Stone Buona Vesa salt and lime lager, and Julius is having a Mandarin IPA. Julius, maybe just quickly share with us, how does the Mandarin IPA taste like?
It's very hard to find a beer that actually tastes like completely like a fruit. This beer really tastes like mandarins, and I really wish that it will be available during Chinese New Year, because I want to find an excuse to give beers to my relatives instead of oranges. You know, you exchange oranges, right? Then you get like 20,000 oranges at home. Might as well give them like something that lasts a bit longer than like, I don't know, 2 weeks.
It'll be something different as well. You exchange or you 拜年 with Mandarin IPA.
No, but I thought about that. Apparently some people say cannot taste bitterness during Chinese New Year. So last year, right, we have Tangerine Express from Stone.
Right.
I refuse to give because I think some people pantang cannot eat bitter stuff. I cannot taste bitterness during Chinese New Year. But this one, I think you tried it also just now, right?
Yeah.
Not bitter, right? Like can pass as sweet fruity, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Maybe a bit sour lah, but yeah, most of my relatives are sour.
And with that, we've come to the end of today's episode. We've talked about the red IPA, the black IPA, as well as the New England IPA as promised. We set a fucking low bar of 10 likes previously. And yeah, we've delivered what we promised. Thumbs up if you like this video, thumbs down if you hate it, and leave a comment down below. Let us know what other styles of beer you'd like us to cover in the coming episodes, and we'll do it just for you. And till then, see you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.